So on today's podcast, we are going to get real with each other about one of the main points within culture shaping, the reality that our own words and our own actions vibrate. They are contagious and they send vibrations to other people. So stay tuned and I'll explain more. Welcome back to The Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced the best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back, breathe in good oxygen, and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world. Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome back to the Thermostat Podcast. I am so excited you're here. Welcome back, wherever you are, however you're listening to the podcast today. Welcome back. So glad this continues to be a place for you to step back, for you to think, for you to be hopefully filled with positive thoughts and practices that bring out the best in you and hopefully the people around you. We are in season 6, well over, or at least close to 140 episodes, I think, at this point. Kind of started to lose track, but so excited about the number of people that continue to be a part of this. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you're one of the OGs, welcome back. So glad that this continues to grow and develop, and thanks to everybody who helps it do that. With that in mind, I need to ask a favor just to begin today, and that is for you to rate this podcast, leave a rating, please, 5 stars. If you're willing to do so, whether we like it or not, that's the way people can find this podcast. So if you can rate it, that'd be great. If you can leave a nice review, that is super helpful in your authentic, genuine words about what resonates with you. And then if you're willing to just share it, whether that's on social media or with your networks or however you do, telling people about it, whatever that is for you authentically, that helps us amplify these messages further into the world. And I appreciate that more than you know. So on today's podcast, we are going to get real with each other about one of the main points within culture shaping, the reality that our own words and our own actions vibrate. They are contagious and they send vibrations to other people. So stay tuned and I'll explain more. Before we dive into today's episode, let's take a break. Let's pause for a second and we'll be right back. Many teams and organizations right now are realizing that they need to do both. They need to engage the minds and hearts of their people in person, where everyone in the room can experience the energy of congregating together and find clarity for the road ahead. And they also need to continue to find ways to engage the minds and hearts of their people virtually, with those who are working remotely or at a distance. So, if you are in the process of planning your next team meeting, company all-hands event, conference, or culture summit, and are looking for support with a powerful keynote speech, facilitated team conversations that are the currency for change, or deeper development on leadership mindset and an intentional strategy for the culture you're trying to create, I hope you'll contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. It is my privilege and our honor to partner with great people to provide support in these areas. We want to breathe oxygen into your leaders and throughout your organization so you can set the temperature you want for your culture. We look forward to connecting with you soon. Hey, before we launch in fully into today's episode, just want to say a real quick, again, thank you to everybody out there who has helped with the launching of the book, Breathing Oxygen. We're a few weeks just away now from the launch of when we launched the book. And again, hopefully you know this by now, but it has been a great success, continues to spread, reached #1 on Amazon and new release categories for business and organizational culture and organizational learning. So a lot of really great stuff. It continues to connect and resonate with so many people. And so I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody out there who's been helping with that. And what that means is you authentically have been, sharing it with other people and wanting these messages to be given. And what's been so cool from my standpoint is to watch people that the topics, the messages, the point of the book is really resonating with people and adding value to teams and organizations. So thank you for everybody out there for sharing it. That breathes in some good oxygen to me, and I hope it continues to be good oxygen for you as well. On the last episode, we talked about healthy cultures, and we talked about the 5-to-1 ratio, that if you study healthy relationships, healthy teams, healthy cultures, that there seems to be this kind of 5-to-1 ratio. And in fact, the Gottman Institute out in Seattle, they who did this research, they identified that the healthy relationships, healthy cultures have about a 5-to-1 ratio, which is 5 positive interactions, which isn't just Pollyannic, hey, quick, let's just stay positive kind of interactions, but it's 5 affirming, positive recognition kind of affirmations to somebody or to a group of people to every 1 negative interaction. And again, we're all human. We're not perfect. Of course, we all have a combination of positive to negative interactions. But we know this, that unhealthy relationships tend to have a 0.8-to-1 ratio, meaning more negative interactions to positive interactions. So the question we brought up last time, which again, I encourage you, if you didn't listen to it, to go back and get the full episode to hear the full point of it. But are we committed to progress in our relationships and creating healthy cultures? Or are we just more interested in, quote unquote, winning the argument or the debate or being right? So we're going to build upon that today, because today is about looking ourselves in the mirror and realizing a key tenet of culture shaping is the fact that every single one of us help co-create the cultural ecosystems that we are a part of. Our words and actions send vibrations to everyone along our path and impact, both positively and negatively, by the way. Our words and actions send vibrations to everyone along our path, some positively, some have a negative impact, to everyone that we cross paths with, everyone along our path. This is a foundational thing that we need to remember about culture shaping. We are all ambassadors for the culture we want, and also we are co-creators of what we build together. So in her enlightening book, Contagious Culture, Anise Kavanaugh refers to vibrational energy and the ways in which we all send vibrations to those around us. I talk about this and mention this in Breathing Oxygen because I love Anise's language here, and it fits so well with this concept of breathing oxygen, but and setting a temperature for thermostat cultures too. That really she talks about vibrational energy and the ways in which we all send vibrations to those around us. And she invites us to think about 3 questions as we enter all situations in our life and our work. So picture this and think about, whatever the situations might be for your life or in your work. These 3 questions. Is my presence hurting or helping the impact I want to have? Is my presence hurting or helping the impact I want to have? Second question is my presence adding to or detracting from the energy in the room? Is my presence adding to or detracting from the energy in the room? And the third question she asks is, will my presence make others and myself feel better or worse? Seems simple, but will my presence make others and myself feel better or worse? In my words, are we breathing oxygen into the room? Are we breathing oxygen into the people around us? Or are we stealing oxygen from the room or from the people? Leaders who understand this and teams and organizations that are committed to helping their people breathe better, not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because it helps our performance expand, these kind of leaders or these kind of teams and organizations realize that they need to be continuously in the business of, clearing up the vision for the future, helping to improve everybody's sight lines, but also creating environments where everybody can breathe better, and also are committed to thinking about what are the vibrations that we are sending. What is it that we send throughout our culture? Vibrations are always happening, but are they the ones that we want? Like anything, we have to teach it. And we practice putting out the kind of vibrations that we want. Again, if you remember in culture shaping, what we allow lingers. The things that we allow that are counter to what we want, they kind of linger and fester and become the culture. which then means we need to identify those things and then teach something differently, teaching new habits, new operations, new language that will trigger a different and more positive chain reaction. Send vibrations that we want versus vibrations that we might experience that we don't really want. We model it, we practice it, we develop it. And yes, each one of us, we send vibrations to everyone around us. And so the best teams and organizations, they realize that over time, as they get clear on what are the vibrations we want to be sending, what is the air that we want to be breathing, how is it that we work and vibrate and breathe together, what is the energy we bring to each other, that just becomes the way that we do it. And it doesn't just magically happen, it becomes that way because of the countless intentional actions along the way that help people, show people these are the vibrations, help them feel the energy that we want. And also how shows people and help them practice. These are the mindsets that we breathe in. This is how we communicate with each other. These are the results that we're after. All of these things help create the kind of vibrations that we want for our words and our actions. And so as always, I'll leave you with some questions to ponder for this week, some questions for you to ponder. And I'll leave you with Anis's questions. Is your presence hurting or helping the impact you want to have? Is your presence adding to or detracting from the energy in the rooms you enter? Is your presence making others and yourself feel better or worse? Today's episode is for all of us to look in the mirror a little bit and ask that and remember, all of us send vibrations with our words and actions, and what are the vibrations that we want to be sharing and sending with the people around us? So I hope that leaves you with something good to think about. Last thing I'll end with today is people continue to ask, how can you help with the launch of the new book, Breathing Oxygen? There's 3 simple ways. Quickly, I'll just say this again for those of you out there that still want to help launch this book even further in the world and amplify these messages. One is order the book and read it. So simply put, on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or jasonvbarger.com or Amplify, wherever you get books, get it and read it. Because I want to be somebody who not just writes books, but reads that has a book that people want to read and that the messages impact people. So I hope it breathes in some good oxygen in you so that you can share it with others. The second thing is to share it. And I say that if and only if it resonates with you, if the messages and the spirit of the book authentically moves you and you think has redeeming value to the people around you, then share copies, gift copies. Share it with the people around you on your team, throughout your organization, colleagues across the country, around the world. Share it on social media or however you send messages. That's another way that it spreads. And then lastly, reviews. Whether I like it or not, Amazon reviews or reviews on the site that you purchased the book, leaving 5-star reviews and positive reviews helps other people find it. So if you're willing to take the time to do that, that helps in so many ways. If you have other ideas or about how to amplify the messages further, we're all ears. So you can email us at info@jasonvbarger.com and let us know your ideas, and we certainly would love to hear them. Again, I'll just remind us today that for all of us to breathe in appreciation and gratitude for all that is within our control. We know there's so much uncertainty and so much that swirls around us in our life and our work, but being able to choose to positively impact those around us on our teams and on our journey, we've got to breathe in that kind of energy, and we've got to kind of give send those vibrations to the people around us. Calibrating our own personal thermostat starts with awareness and recognition for whatever is the temperature that we want to set, and then we got to breathe oxygen into it. Breathe oxygen to fuel our minds so that then the vibrations we do send are aligned with the words and actions and what we want people to feel around us. So we get to be those thermostats and to breathe oxygen into ourselves and the people around us. So I hope you'll keep tuning in. I hope this continues to be a place that breathes oxygen into you. We have many great episodes and topics on the horizons. And so I'll just tell you this. Remember, the best leaders, teams, and cultures on the planet stimulate progress by recalibrating their thermostat together and also choose to breathe in good oxygen. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using, and share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to you and your organization, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. And remember, we are all ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.